and welcome to ET Garage. I am happy to report the torque converter is in. I'll show you that in a minute. I got the transmission already on the floor. I can't believe how quick ProTorque was able to, and UPS was able to get this to me. ProTorque, if you wonder, I'll leave a link to them in the description box below. That's their name right there in the box, all that good stuff. And it comes really well packaged. Let me get a closer up look of it and I'll show you a couple of things. Okay, here it is, the ProTorque torque converter. It is a 2400. They listed as 2200 to 2400. It will vary with your motor, the size of your motor. A big block, for instance, will stall, using the same torque converter, will stall at a different RPM than a small block, etc. Your cam and all that stuff plays into it. So I'm not going to go into those details. One thing I will go into, you want to put grease on this snout, and with automatic transmission fluid, you want to use anything that's going inside the trans. You want to use a grease that is compatible with automatic transmission fluid, like Vaseline or automatic transmission assembly grease. I already greased up the input shaft and the stator that this is going to go into with the Vaseline, and I already greased this up with the Vaseline. In case you're wondering about automatic transmission assembly fluid, it's basically Vaseline that's colored. That's the way I understand it. In the manuals they say to use Vaseline. That's what I use. On the other side, you also want to add grease, and I'll show you that right here. This is going to center the torque converter in your crankshaft. This actually goes in the opening in the back of the crankshaft. You want to put grease on there. I don't use the Vaseline there. That's not going to be anything internally with the automatic transmission. I'll use just regular grease. I have it around somewhere. Anyway, I'll just use regular grease like you use on bearings or whatever. I usually use a synthetic grease. It doesn't matter. It just helps it slide in there and whatnot, and allow for expansion and contraction and all that. On the bolts, don't grease them at all. You want to use Loctite or a similar product. You do not want these bolts coming loose. You'll have all sorts of issues. Bad things will happen. So anyway, I'm not going to go into full detail of reinstalling the transmission. One thing I will have to show you, just hold on a second, I'll move the camera again. One thing I need to do is get that transmission on that transmission jack. And once I do that, it won't fit underneath this car any way, shape, or form. Okay? Not on the jack stands I have. Even if I put them all the way up, it just ain't going to do it. I think they are pretty close to all the way up. And basically what I got to do is get the transmission underneath there and then get it up on top of that jack. I mean, I could just use the floor jack there, and if I had someone helping me, I could balance it on that floor jack, put a board on top of the floor jack and do it that way. I've done transmissions that way. I'd rather use this. It helps you have adjustments so you can line everything up properly. It just makes it a lot easier. What I did last time when I did this, I actually used the engine stand over there, or the engine hoist, portable engine hoist, and slid the transmission underneath, and I actually hooked a strap to the transmission, routed it up through the firewall into the engine bay, and I hoisted the front of the transmission up that way, and then the rear of the transmission with the floor jack, and then slid this under it and did it that way. Of course, it'd be a lot better if I had someone here helping me. I don't, so that's what I'm going to have to do. I might try something different. I don't know. But for now, I'm just going to go fast forward and get everything underneath here. So just hold tight. Oh, before I do go ahead and go fast forward and get everything under here, the one thing I need to do is get the torque converter on the front of that. And when you put that torque converter in, it's going to lock, like pop in 3 times. It has to go in a certain distance. And when it goes in that certain distance, it locks and engages the lugs into the oil pump. That's in, or transmission oil pump that's inside there. And that's how the transmission pump is driven, is by the engine spinning the torque converter, and that spins the pump, and that's how you get your pressure. Of course, you can go nowhere without it. Everything will just burn up. So thought I'd point that out. There's probably other videos out there and all that stuff, so you can look that up if you want to. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to get to work and start moving things around. Okay, it's the next day. Transmission is up under the car and bolted to the motor. I still need to, once I got it all bolted up and to the bell housing, to the block, I decided to call it a day, clean up and call it a day. The transmission jack is out from under the car. Right now the motor is being supported by the scissor jack. And so I still need to, let me see, need to hook up the transmission cooler lines. I need to hook up the TV cable, or trans valve cable. I need to hook up the wires to the VSS, the speed sensor, and the wires that control the, that go to the ECM to the transmission for the torque converter lockup. After that, I then need to install the C-beam and the propeller shaft or drive shaft. GM will, if you look at a GM service manual, they refer to the drive shaft as a propeller shaft. I always got a kick out of that. But anyway, got to do that. And then I got to put the headers on. Oh, I still need to bolt the torque converter to the flex plate. That's important. And the headers, the spark plugs, the oil temp sending unit has to go back in. Those all, the spark plugs in that sending unit had to come out, because if you don't take them out before you take the headers out, you'll end up breaking them. So that's the reason those are out. And get the exhaust on and fill it full of oil and hope it works. So let me get under there and get that done. We'll see if I can get some underneath shots of the whole thing. So, let me get going. Okay, hopefully you've seen in the video, I got the C-beam on, I got the coolant lines hooked up, I have the cable for the trans valve hooked up, I have the wires for the speedometer and for the wires that go to the computer all hooked up. I got the shifter all hooked up, the C-beam, the drive shaft, that's all hooked up. I got the headers hooked up, and when I went to go put my oil temp sensor, if you're wondering, on a 90 Corvette, they have this three-prong sensor. Put it in, went to put the connector on, and that broke off. So I'm gonna repair this with some 5-minute JB Weld epoxy. And while that's setting up, I will go ahead and finish putting the spark plugs in. After I do that, I have to hook up the torque converter to the flex plate and make sure I use Loctite and torque that on the bolts, and put the cover over the torque converter. And once that's done, put the exhaust on, hook up my PVC system back up, and put oil in it, and it should be ready to go. So let me get this taken care of. Okay, it's done. There's just one problem. I'm a quart short, so I need to run out and get another quart of transmission fluid. I could drive it like that. It'd probably be fine, just a quart short, because then as it warms up to it, also transmission fluid expands. But for now, all I can do is wait. I did run it while it was on the jack stands, and it did go forward, reverse, neutral, all that stuff like it was supposed to. So all I can do is, I need to get cleaned up anyway and run to the store. So I'll do that, come back, put a quart in it, take it for a test ride. Hopefully everything will work out fine. Alright, here we are, getting ready to put it in gear for the first time since this rebuild. Hopefully everything will go good. Looks like it's going to rain out, so I'll probably hit some rain. Reverse, neutral, drive. And we'll pull out a driveway. So far, so good. Okay. Let's see. Head out here. Yep, it's starting to rain. Oh well. I'm seeing smoke. That ain't good. Now, there's still a lot of oil under the under there that I didn't get off. Let me check before anything happens. Okay, apparently I still got a lot of transmission oil from when the transmission blew. It's still all over like the headers and what I apparently couldn't get off underneath completely. But other than that, like, I checked the transmission level and that was good, and the fluid's good. So all I gotta do is take it for a ride. The smoke went away. So I guess that all burnt off. Hopefully that was it. If I have to pull over and I have to tell you I have to call for a rollout, you know what happened. So hopefully that won't happen. I went for about a 20-30 minute drive. Transmission's working great. Had that little scare there with the smoke. I guess there was still transmission oil on the exhaust. It's the only thing I could think of, because the transmission fluid is right where it's supposed to be, and it's nice and clear. And I probably just didn't get all the transmission fluid from when the trans leaked out off of everything. I know there's still some underneath there on the rear and stuff I have to get under there and get that off. I gotta wait till I get it out in the driveway. Ain't gonna be today. I'm beat. It's well, it's in the afternoon, and it's getting wind down time for me anyway, my old butt. But a new problem arose when I took it for a test drive is headlight on the driver's side wouldn't come up. So I'll have to diagnose that. That's something else to do, I guess. There's always a project on a 30-year-old car with 235,000 miles. What can I say? What can I say? I'm happy with it so far. Hopefully it will keep performing for a long time this time. A lot longer than it did last time. Just check back on the channel every now and then, or like, subscribe, and share and all that good stuff. Leave comments down in the comment section. And everybody have a great day. It's, like I said, Easter weekend, so everybody have a great Easter. And God bless.